Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I'm Dan, and you look like mad or something.
No.
Okay, all right.
Well, that's what Travis.
Uh-oh.
So
something's wrong, Sam. Oh, Sam's
nothing's
here.
wrong.
Hi.
Sam's here. Butler's here. The fish are here. We're here. It's a Monday. Hanging out with you. The chat room's here. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live if you'd like to watch us live and find those video replays on YouTube.
So, anyway, and I think I know what's happening
What's
here.
happening?
Is that I have this new thing where I'm trying to like optimize my time and mentality for my entire day, right? And so what I mean by that
I wasn't paying attention. Can you
Stop.
Okay.
is that when I'm at work, I want to try to get as much done as possible.
Yeah.
Like literally
Wait a minute.
every second.
So when you're at work, do work.
Yeah.
And
That's
when
a
you're at
great
home,
concept.
play hard.
Well, or stop working with this and then focus on the other things I want to do. But basically, kind of like Samantha's been yelling at me, setting boundaries or whatever it is.
Well, she has two categories. One is she's just yelling at you.
Yeah.
And the other is she's yelling at you about boundaries.
Yeah. Which, of course, I need to. I never
But you
had
should set
it.
a boundary and tell me to stop yelling at you.
No. Because I
No,
like
he needs
the
that
input.
yell. No, that's the worst thing he could do is to give you a boundary. You need to overstep your boundaries.
All right.
Because I also like to listen to what people are telling me because they obviously,
That's news to me.
whether I'm doing anything about it is
Okay.
different. But I do I
receive the information.
I receive the
Yeah.
information, and if I receive it enough from enough people, I'm like, well, this must be true. Because
Right.
Because now
Okay,
More
it's coming.
people are telling me about
Yeah,
it.
it's coming from like 5 different humans from around
It's
me.
been sourced to a point
Yeah,
of percentages, right?
Because just coming from one human at one time, it could be an emotional response. It could be based on nothing or some sort of emotion, and then I deem that as less important or less valuable to me.
Like
What's
And
the magic number? How many times do you have to be told something before you actually go, maybe I should look into this?
Well, it all
3 is the magic number.
I don't think that's it.
Anyway, I forgot my original.
Yes, I
You
love
like
it.
to work as much as you can when you're here.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
when you work hard, and when you play even harder.
make
Tom
that a
Van,
shirt.
Yeah.
So
If you can't run with the Tom Van, stay on the porch.
So when I got here this morning, and it's been like this for the past couple of weeks, I think after the event is when because that event I was working so much
sucked a
at
lot
home.
of life out of you, yeah.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff after hours, and it was putting wear and tear on Crystal, and just because like I'm always looking at my phone or answering some emails, and I'm always telling her like I just need to get this one thing, like and I realized like I can't just do that to my family, and so I got
you
to
can.
be better.
It's just not good to do that to you.
Right.
Yeah. So then I'm like, when I get here, I'm like, I just got to get as much done as humanly possible. That way, when I leave, then I can truly feel like I didn't leave anything left.
It does break down, though.
I'm done.
Feel like it breaks down the discord or the relationship or the dialogue here. If when you come in, you're just like, I have to go into go mode because you come into your own little shell.
Yeah, then everybody's like, what's wrong with this guy?
Well, then we're not talking at all. And then I think part of where we excel as a team is when we communicate. And I think you have gotten used to wanting to come in and just go head down. And that's fine. But I don't think that is the best way to be. But
it is not,
it's whatever you want to do, man. Do you.
No. No, I've realized I've gone too far into this. And
to the extremes.
And I can't do that because that therefore is causing everybody to... For instance, this just happened.
What happened?
Where I'm sitting there and you guys came in here to do this, and I'm writing an
We're
email.
in here singing karaoke.
I'm looking at.
We were arguably in here effing around.
Yeah.
Which is not a good look
Oh,
when
you're
you're
just waiting for
Yeah,
Tom
well,
to
if
be
he's
ready.
in there like writing an email and we're in here singing Duncan Chic, which I believe we were, not good. Not
So I must have made Travis nervous with all this laser focus, not talking.
good. Well, you've been planning his exit for months now.
So because Travis,
Isn't that what you were working on?
He's like, hey boss, I've noticed you've been, you've been really concentrating on
I get
something,
it.
which basically tells me he's like, freaked out or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Does he say "Hey, boss" to you?
Only
he does that
when
to me
he's worried he's
sometimes, too.
getting
He's gotta
fired.
Stop that. He's got to stop that. I hate it.
Yeah, and
How you
then
doing, boss? Don't do that.
so then I was like, that's when I realized, like, I've been too focused and not like in my own bubble in my shell, just doing all this stuff. Yeah. And now I'm making Travis worried, and then everybody else probably is like, "What's wrong with this grumpy a-hole?"
I'll just ask you. So you know my MO. Like you know how I work. I'll be like, "You mad at me?" You're like, "No, you're an idiot," or like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "Okay." Like I did it right, and then I'm like, "All right." He just wants to be in a shell. He's a turtle man.
This is why I think Travis is effing with me, because he's like, "Hey, boss, I noticed you've been super focused and like concerned about something lately," and then I was like, "Oh yeah," so I took my glasses off, leaned back, and I was like, I gotta start a conversation
Casual
with him.
mode.
And then I'm like, no, I'm just, and then I started reviewing what I'm doing, like I'm just writing an email to this, and then Jeff's like, I gotta take this call. In the middle of he interrupted.
He's like, and then it's like my wife's calling me.
He's like, "Hey, I noticed. I'm concerned about what are you focusing on?"
And
then exactly. Then I'm like, "Are you effing with me, bro? Are you effing with me?"
Oh no! I hope that call was important.
Did you get anything out at all? Like, did you pour any of your feelings out?
Well, the call's about his wife locked herself out of the house, and he's explaining how to crawl through the window.
Oh my god!
Wait a minute. That doesn't sound like her.
Well, yeah, it's for sure Travis's fault. Like he didn't put the key under the rock or something. Yeah. Something happened. Anyway, I was like, yes. Oh stop! Let me stop my boss from what he's doing to tell him that I'm concerned about his stress level.
Hold on a second. This is something more important.
Just one moment, boss.
That's a weird swerve. Yeah, that was weird. Did he say anything afterwards? Did he apologize or anything, or did you guys just both go your separate ways? Never to talk about it again.
Then I'm like,
well, that's what's weird about it is that he didn't come back later and be like, "Hey,
resume
really sorry about that." So what's going on, man? Butler, get in here. Why didn't you follow up?
Well, because he was still on the phone
when Tom came in here to record.
Yeah, I was leaving the bathroom when he's like, "You crawling through the window? Don't." He's like, "Watch out for the cat food."
Watch out for the cat food.
You got a cat?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I locked my wife out of the house.
So it was your fault.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, I forgot to leave the emergency key.
Now, it's funny that I guessed that exactly right. How did I?
Yeah.
Well, you felt
it's almost like I know this guy.
You got the goods. That's right.
You felt it in your business bones.
Yeah.
So how are we going to repair this friendship?
No. We don't
share it. No friendship. Mm-hmm. So did I overstep my bounds?
Yeah. How mad does your wife get at you when you do make a mistake?
And now she's got to crawl through.
Yeah, because I've done this too.
She's athletic, it's not like she's a chungus or something. It's not like she's incapable.
Is she cool with it? Is she?
Well, she was just happy I told her which window was open. I was like, this window doesn't lock very well.
She was happy.
Hold on, write that down.
I'll tell you the level of trouble I'd be in if I caused my wife to be locked out of the house and she had to then crawl in through a window or whatever.
Well, you floated my wife's car down the road. She had to crawl in her car through the back.
I remember that.
That was an accident.
Well, I don't think Butler did this on purpose.
Yeah, again, I feel like you guys have you're a lot more alike than you are different.
Here's my wife perceives it as if I keep making the same accident over and over after she's told me like
a child poo-poo in his diaper.
Then at a certain point, it must be on purpose. Like it must be as a personal attack. It's a personal attack at a certain point. Yeah, it's like every time I clomp dirt through the house. After the 50th time.
And you don't think I take it like a personal attack here?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But
now I don't, right? I don't.
Well,
I really, just to put you at ease.
Emotionally, it's an attack.
No, emotionally, I don't like it. But I certainly don't think you're doing it to make me mad. Does that make sense? I have never, ever, ever. Am I getting too serious? I have never thought that you have ever, when I've repeatedly told you don't clump Munt through the studio, don't leave cups everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think he does it on purpose, but it is still maddening.
Oh, it's maddening. Yeah. Well, that is that's a different show. Mm-hmm. Is it maddening? Well, tune in next week. But right now, I'm telling you, I do not believe that you do it just to make me mad.
No, yeah. No, if you thought that, it would be real bad because then it would be I'm an insane person. Like I literally, I step in mud and I'm like I'm clumping today.
No, I'm gonna make him crazy.
You want to know how crazy it is? To put it in perspective for the listeners that don't understand, he could be clumping through the studio just walking to get a Mountain Dew, and I could go, "Oh man, you're clumping," and he wouldn't even hear me say, "Oh man, you're clumping." Do you know what I mean? Like he's not even there.
Yeah. It's that's bad. Anyway, so how mad does your wife get, Travis? Is she yell at you at all?
No, I mean,
she
almost 20 years together. We kind of it's a lot of give and take.
I think you got yelled at yesterday. Did you get yelled at yesterday when I was pulling my scooter in?
No.
Okay, I thought you were being yelled at. Everybody here, I feel like, gets yelled at on the phone except for me and Sam.
If you're the
my husband never calls me during work hours.
No, me neither.
You guys all have your spouses.
You two get yelled at a lot.
Yeah.
Both of you. That's what I'm saying. You're more alike.
I don't think Travis gets yelled at.
I think he does.
No.
I'm like a battered wife, though. I'm like, I deserve it.
Well, he does the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't get any folk. I don't have any friends. I get home. I'm like, hello? Like nobody there. Hello, please.
So is like she's gonna like get into the house and whatever, and there's gonna be a continued conversation about this. Is
there a mess?
What, from her breaking in the house or what?
Yeah, did you leave a mess? Like, how did it happen? You just didn't put the
emergency
key back.
So long story short, she had a back tire issue on her car. She had to drop it off at the Hyundai dealership, which isn't too far away from the house, and so she walked home from the Hyundai dealership
and didn't bring her house
key.
So that's partially on her.
And I walked home from the Hyundai dealership. You guys are poor.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Why don't you have some sort of Wi-Fi lock or a garage door or something?
I kind of want to do that. Yeah.
I don't trust those anymore.
I import.
I don't trust them
because like everything is now app controlled and is becoming real. Like I have, which is weird because I'm an old pop mainly because of Crystal. Like most of the things in my house are controlled by Alexa or an app or whatever. My garage door, my pool.
I have like one light in my garage door. That's about it.
Almost every light in the house.
Are they but do they work perfectly? Because
yeah.
The ones I have, I got just lights on, lights out. That stuff is just wonky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah. Sometimes it turns itself on. Sometimes the percentages of the dimmer is like at 40%. I'm like, maximum percentage. And they'll go to it and then it'll dim back down. It's weird.
I mean, there's some.
It's not 100%. Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, it's 95.
I mean,
it's pretty damn good.
I hate
pretty
to be this guy, but I'm
cheaper.
I'm just okay with a switch. I'm just like, there's my light. All right, we're good.
Well, voice control, it does. I have my thermostat, the Nest and stuff. Like there are like advantages to it, and I was like you, Dane. I was like, who cares? I'll just use a switch. But I mean, you start yelling at Alexa to turn on and off different things. Like pretty good, Like you end up using it and finding it like way more convenient, especially with the boys. Like you turn off their lights and on and whatever.
That's cool.
Anyway, so I'm curious.
In every room, you are fancy.
Those kids never have to walk anywhere. They don't have to turn off their own lights.
I swear to God, I got
lights.
None of that, man.
$20 or whatever.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just. I got none of that. Like if you couldn't live in my house, like everything is just like regular.
I got the fancy lights. That's it.
I wish I did. I need that. I want the one behind the TV that lights up, that matches your TV. Whatever's on the TV, it matches the ambiance. I want that. I want the sound system in the walls that's hidden. I want I want it all, but I don't.
Well,
do it. I don't know why. My wife has an appointment today to, and maybe this will get me in the step in your direction, Tom. Because honestly, I want it. We're gonna finally repair the Ethernet terminals in the house. Remember the guy that owned it before me, the crazy guy? He just went in there and yanked all the wires out or cut them with scissors and ruined it. So they're gonna rewire the house, and it's not gonna be cheap. But they're gonna rewire the whole house so I can have not only Wi-Fi, but I can have for stuff I like to plug in, like Xbox and stuff I like powered and like it corded. I'm gonna cord some stuff in so I can make it rocket fast.
Is that the like cording it is way faster than the Wi-Fi?
It's more stable.
It's more stable, yeah. And it's consistently, if you're just getting it straight from the source, it's not going to be degraded by Wi-Fi at all. There are other people jumping on there. But yeah, it'll be more helpful. We're doing it for her office because it looks like she won't be going back in very... I think a lot of people are going to be doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like, well, got to upgrade this thing because...
Well, the proof was when the businesses realized it was cheaper and they made just as much money. And that was when they're never going back. Like, if you're looking at it, you're like, well, I made the same amount and I saved on this building and all the insurance and everything that the cost that associates with running a building, I'll have all my employees work from home.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any business sense.
Well, like,
to, as long as they can still be as productive.
And
right?
Wi-Fi is so important to us because if you think about it, the two main things my wife uses Wi-Fi for at the house are her job and her exercise for the Peloton. And both of those she wants, hardwired. So we're finally going to upgrade. We're trying to be smart about putting money into things that we think we'll use, which I think you've been very smart in investing in the convenience and the in your house. Like it's smart to do that. It's not like we're spending less time there. We're spending more time there. So I'm trying to kind of get where you're at with that kind of stuff. And then the next thing, and I know people are going to laugh, but the next thing is to actually get my TV mounted on the wall, hide all the cables behind the wall, get a designated like AV area where everything is organized and all my cables look perfect like Matt Mormon. That's on the list. Like we have a list of things that Andrea has that is like, number one is to get this cat whatever. I don't even know. But I'm also old school. It's like cat 5 to me. And there's like saying like cat 6, cat 7. We're going to get the internet or the Ethernet fixed in the house, wired to every room. Then next up is making sure that we get her office squared away.
I wouldn't be surprised if they start building like, they'll start with the Wi-Fi, but like in the Bahamas or these like very remote areas.
Such a good idea.
You're like, you need Wi-Fi because even in some of these small ski towns and stuff, I'm talking to locals and stuff. They're talking about how many more people will move there and how much more expensive it'll get as soon as they upgrade their Wi-Fi. Because a lot of these small towns don't have the best.
Yeah.
And people, that will be the deciding factor to moving there as soon as they know they can work from home and have a secured fast Wi-Fi. So I'm sure builders are even looking at like an area that's remote that you could build a community for people just to live and work from home, and you have to have fast Wi-Fi first, and then I'm sure communities would be starting building up just based on Wi-Fi first.
Yeah. Well, there's
and location. You walk in your house, the
network
beach or whatever.
infrastructure. Yeah.
There's articles that I've been seeing posted, or at least one article posted about. I thought you were going to talk about the idea that these people are coming up with for like these. They're almost like extended stay vacation work homes, where it's like you're in an exotic location, but like you're saying, it's an office area. So you get to work and do your job from almost like an exotic, like let's say Caribbean location with great Wi-Fi and conductivity, but at the same time, you're able to like hit the beach afterwards when you're done with what you need to do. Now you pay a premium to stay there, but it's almost like you're getting both your vacation and and working, and it's for families that mom or dad might have to hit the computer, but everybody else can hit the pool, but they can all do it together. I was like, that's a pretty decent idea.
That's great
because you're going to get more and more people doing it. So they're going to start building out. You're going to start seeing these kind of tacked onto resorts, and then eventually they think you will eventually see resorts that are all for that. And it would, of course, be more of a family-style thing, but, for bloggers, for influencers, they need Wi-Fi. They need offices.
Here's another thing, too, for people that work from home or can work from home, but are looking to mix it up, and, like, they're starting these basically facilities that have like a gym and some like a cafe, like some restaurants, like one-off like satellite
court,
like a satellite restaurants or whatever. But and then just a bunch of areas you could just sit on your laptop and work. And there's like a gym nearby. There's like childcare. So you could bring your kids for a couple hours. They could watch your kids. You go to the gym. Lunch is there, and it's just a place you could sit, comfortable area with a laptop. And then you pay a membership fee so you can go there whenever you want. Like that makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of malls, because you start looking at like, all right, what the hell are they going to turn the malls into? I mean, a lot of them have been turning into residential condos and like using the parking lots,
retirement communities and stuff. Yeah, I've seen that.
But I bet you they're air conditioned inside.
Drone racetrack.
yeah.
Right. We need more drone racetracks.
Just put a gym and some other stuff and some childcare and turn them into a place to work from satellite.
If I were rich, I would buy one and I would model it specifically after the level on Tony Hawk's Skater. And I would open it. I would make it. I would hire actors to act like, security guards, and you could come there. It would be a skateboard theme park themed after that level.
Problem is, young skateboard punks don't have any money.
No.
You know who has got money?
But their parents do.
Yeah, that's true.
We could see a lot of Land Rovers in the parking lot, That would be nice. They're dropping them off. We'd have to have a lot of, people like Butler running around policing them, telling them to stop picking on each other and fighting. It's a bad idea.
And then it's like, back to my having LED TV screens in every window of your house so that you look out and it's a 4K view of the ocean, but it's just there's nothing. You're living in nowhere like Nebraska, but you're looking at
somebody outside getting killed.
I wonder if we'll start moving into that once all real views of the ocean are taken up by people moving there, and and then you'll start having LED fake views of the ocean that your brain. It'll release somewhat of the similar
when do we
chemicals.
Get to a point where we have used that fake view so much that it does nothing, right?
It's probably just like the real view. Like, if you look out your window and you see a beautiful, ocean, after years, I'm sure it diminishes now to, it doesn't give you the same effect.
Would we be better suited, and would our personalities be... Our moods be better if we open these windows instead of keeping them closed?
With just sunlight.
How do you have it at your house? When you guys are home, are your windows open so you can see out?
What do you think for me?
Well, for you, I think there's
it's like
tinfoil.
a goddamn cave at my house.
I like windows. I like to be able to look out of my windows.
Yeah.
My shades are open, and if the weather's nice enough, the windows are actually open.
Me too. I'm weird.
I do that on the weekends sometimes, but most of the time, when I get home, all the windows are drawn.
Yeah,
nobody's looking at my house.
You do that move, guy running from FBI.
Yeah.
Every single window, and then you just look out.
And then you go, peek out the one blind.
You're also hiding in the bathroom with the judge on your lap.
And everybody who pulls in your driveway just to turn around and do your turn, you're like, who's that?
Yeah. Oh my God.
You're like, why is that person doing that?
I'll never forget that. One
Hide
time
under
I
the
was
window.
cooking chicken wings on my gas grill at my original house, the little house over here off of Karen, and I had gotten too high. This is earlier on, and way too high, and I heard one siren, and I ran inside, jumped on the bed, and hid, I hid under pillows, and I had to tell Andrea to go turn the grill off. I was like, I can't go back out there. They're looking for me. I was like, they're looking for me. I was like, you got to turn the grill off.
That's a problem.
She didn't know how to turn the grill off, so I think she just let it roll. And I just
burn out.
Cooked the bones, man. Cook the bones.
Oh man, I did that. Damn it.
Did you cook the bones?
Yeah, when turkey leg was over, we cooked those T-bone steaks. Remember?
Yeah.
And then I must have left the grill on. And it threw me off because I'm used to having company over the house. So I when I grill, it's very rare. But I have the system where I'm I turn off the gas from underneath the grill.
You should.
And then I let it burn out, and then I turn the burners off.
That's correct. Right? My God! Oh my God! He does it right. Yeah, you're supposed to turn it off at the source, so it burns the gas out of the line.
So anyway,
that's the only thing I know that you do properly.
I must have not done that. And because people, the turkey leg distracted me or whatever. I was like, I'm cooking these steaks.
Stupid turkey leg.
And then, so the next day, I'm trying to heat my pool with the gas heater, and I'm like, it smells like propane out here. I'm like, the gas heater must be broken. And then
I want to light this cigarette.
And then I go to the grill and it's on. And then I'm like, oh God! And the
hot
tank's empty,
red hot.
No, it must have. I just literally left it for 24 hours.
Burned it all night like JFK's eternal flame.
Yeah.
It's the Casimiri eternal flame.
Is that connected to your Big Thompson, or is this a little guy?
Oh no, big. Oh
big
yeah.
Thompson.
I probably burned $150 at gas. Yeah.
I was like, at least it was a small one.
I mean, literally burning money.
And then now, because you're not supposed to let it go completely empty, they have to send a tech out to
He's the only one that can do it.
To make sure that something's not broken. I guess
sucks.
No. But then I fill it up. It's my fault.
It'll be fine. Thompson gas.
That's That's what marijuana. I'm blaming it on marijuana. It does make you
Wait
forget.
a minute, is it turkey leg or marijuana?
It's probably more the marijuana.
Yeah.
And then also you get used to doing a certain routine, and then anything that throws you off like an old man, and then you're screaming in the hospital because you don't know where you're at. That's what happens. Literally, the older you get, the more set in your ways you get, and as soon as someone throws a wrench in that, you're screwed. That's why I constantly try to do chaos a little bit, because I don't want to become so old set in my ways after 20 years that I cannot get out of it,
Yeah,
you'll fall into a routine you'll never be able to
I had to break mine, or I would remember I was going to bed. I think Butler's falling into it now. I was going to bring this up on Friday Free Show, but if you guys want to roll, we can roll, because I think Butler is falling into the pattern that I fell into a year and a half, 2 years ago, before I got my Peloton bike, where I would go to bed around 6:30, 7 o'clock.
No.
And it's bad. You're giving up on life, and I don't know why you are.
Well, he's turning into a peepaw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like a 6:37. I'm like an 8:30. I like to look for the bed.
Why? You used to be a night owl, I thought.
He turned 40.
I got nowhere to go now, man.
Right over the hill, man.
Was it the COVID, like the being inside?
I think so.
I mean, you got it. You beautiful wife, successful wife, beautiful dog.
Well, if you wake up,
good family, beautiful area you live in.
I'm getting like solid 8 hours of sleep in though. Daily.
Yeah, that's good.
That is good for you.
I mean, that's what's killing me slowly is the lack of sleep, and I sleep horribly, and then I stay up to I go to sleep at midnight every night, and that's way too late.
But
I was literally typing the Twitch chat. I almost started singing "Kill Me Softly."
But if you get into a diehard routine that you don't break, man, good luck breaking that.
I had to break it because you guys clown me. He would especially clown me. Then the Sam ones would hurt the most because he'd be like, "Oh, grandpa, little grandpa," like baby grandpa going to bed. I was like, I gotta change my life. I gotta stay up late. So I would force myself. And I broke it. I finally have gotten to a point now where I don't go to bed until like right around 11 o'clock.
Oh, my gosh.
That's late for me, 11:30. I know that's still, even Tom would clown me like, 11:30?
No, I wish I want to.
There's like weekend hours for me, man.
That's what I try to do now. That's what I try to do now. I think it's good to do that.
But my kids go to bed late. Kids are in bed like 9:30. It's like and then so I like to have a solid 2 hours of drinking and sitting.
That's also peepaw material. Drinking and sitting.
Drinking and sitting.
But if I don't get that in, I just feel like what am I working 24 hours a day?
What is this all for?
Well, at least drinking and sitting. Like my wife, I don't want to watch a lot of these dumb shows she wants to watch, and she wants to watch Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Oh God.
So she's watching that, and then I'll go play video games. Well, before I know it, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then I'm like, well, I better go spend some time with her. I'm not going to just sit down there and play video games and just go to bed. Good night. That's not good for your relationship. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, it matters what she wants. That's how I was I'm screwing it up. If it was up to me, I could deal with whatever. No, I will be steadfast in whatever situation you put me in. I will adapt to it and thrive. No matter how horrible.
I like that. What type of plant would you be? You'd be a very hardy plant. You're Pika Pika. You're unkillable.
I'd be
He's the trash plant. What is it? Staghorn.
You staghorn. I'm
a fiddly fig. I'm more of a fiddly fig man.
God, I just propagated some fiddly figs and they're dying. And I screwed it up. Anyway,
how's her living room looking? You still got the cups everywhere? Or does it still look like
I got those out to my backyard?
Did I hurt your feelings enough for you to put all the cups outside?
No.
Or did you move them outside because you didn't want the turkey legs seeing them?
No.
Because it is off-putting when you go into his living room and it looks like a meth lab of plants everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's odd. A lot of paper towels with roots rolled into them, and seriously,
duct tape on trees.
Oh, do you want your pots back? Are you gonna give me plants?
No, you can. I have a stockpile of pots.
Are you so mad at me now I got a lot of email from people that said I did you wrong by getting my plant subscription service and not going through Plant Daddy, which is your brand of plants. Got a lot of hate mail about that.
You could buy your plants from wherever. I'm not selling plants. I'm just saying I was upset that you didn't consult me and the plants.
Yeah. I don't know. You did argue that you were mad that he didn't get his plants from you.
He is mad. He just doesn't want to say he's mad because saying he's mad would admit to everybody that he's less of a pika I can roll with anything and thrive plant man. Yeah. He does have feelings deep down inside there. It's hard for him.
He's an orchid at heart. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I offended him by not taking Plant Daddy's plants and by
you cannot offend me.
He wanted to give you a couple clippings.
Yeah, I went with Big Plant. I went with Big Plant, and I told my wife that, and my wife was like, "Yeah, but he'd never get us the plants on time, and I like my plants organized and released every Friday." And I'm like,
"Well,
that's true."
Each
no, they pick
so it's just
whatever.
random?
Yeah, it's just they pick.
What are they giving you?
I don't know. I'm not a plant guy.
Do you
want my wife to send you pictures of my plants?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Let me see.
Hold on. Call my wife. Do you have her number?
They're giving me some cheapo garbage.
I'm
some
sure
generic IKEA.
Hold on, I'll send it to you.
Stinko.
Hold on, maybe I can call her.
See, all my plumeria took that I stole off my neighbor.
You got the cordless right there if you want to call it.
Hey, can you call the show?
Yeah.
Tom's horribly offended that we went with Big Plant for all of our inside plants, and he says they gave us a bunch of cheapo garbage, and that's ending our friendship.
We did not go with Big Plant.
Okay, well, hold on. Call. Bye.
Like I said, also I'm
hearing
I told
you we didn't go with Big Plant.
but you told me you went to some subscription service.
I did.
Yeah, but
it's
it might be a small business,
subscription service. I didn't go to Walmart, which is what you said I did.
Yeah, but where are they getting their plans from? Follow the money.
Follow the trail.
It's in the GD documents. I bet you they're
like I said, no answer is good enough for Tom.
They're just getting it from the same distributor that Walmart is from some huge big plant.
Probably right. Which is the part that I get so mad about. Is everything he's saying is going to get to a point where we will trace, follow the leaves, and then we get to the bottom of it.
It's all a giant factory in China. It's always a factory in China.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Tom is really mad that, how Tom, he prides himself on being emotionless, logical, path of least resistance, and he...
Well, Andrea is logical.
She is, but she...
Some days I wish only I could only talk to computers. Because
you don't know how to use your computer.
I know that's what's so bad about it.
Sweet silence. He just sits there staring at a box.
I will have a conversation with the computer because it'll all make sense, and I'll be like, yes.
Hello, Tom.
But I can't have that. How are you been? And it's like, I cannot feel your whole and that's it. That's the whole conversation.
I cannot compute.
Okay, so I got you an inside plant subscription. And you love it, and it wasn't very expensive. It was very cheap, but I'm sure that's because Tom's going to say these are all very basic, cheapo houseplants. And yes, that's what I kind of signed up for. It's like an entry level. Well, go ahead.
So when you got it for me, I was like, oh man, this is something else that now I have to take care of. That was my first reaction. However,
off to a good start.
There's the computer that I wanted.
There she is. Yeah, kiss her keyboard.
However, I am 3 months in, and these plants are super low maintenance. But let me read. So these plants are sourced from local growers that this company, which is not a big company, it's a local company, has been working for many seasons. And they get their deliveries from these local growers, and they care for every plant the same. So they are taking care of these plants, and so then on the first Friday of every month, I go and I pick up a new plant, and I learn about it. But it's super low maintenance, and we now have these nice little plants. And Maisie gets so excited.
She knows good jazz
when she knows that it's a day I'm bringing home a new plant baby.
She names them. She gets mega excited about it. Freaks out.
Well, what kind of plants are they?
No idea. She said she learned about it, but she hadn't taught me nothing.
I cannot even pronounce the names. I take a picture of the names, and then I look it up, and it says water when dry. So I stick my finger in the soil.
Oh, yeah.
I stick my finger in the soil once a week. Is it dry? No.
Yeah.
Is it dry? Yes. And then I water.
Yeah, twice a week if we're lucky.
So are they broadleaf plants? Are they cactus? Tell me.
Succulents?
They're not cactus. Some are broadleaf plants, if that's what you mean by a big leaf plant. And some have small leaves. So some are light green, some are dark green. I can shoot you pictures of them if you would like to.
Give you a bunch of photos.
Just shoot them.
Shoot him some pictures. Now, Christine knows the place we're talking about and knows one of the managers of the place and could probably get us an interview to talk about. It would be kind of fun. We could do that.
It's the Plant of the Month Club. Why are you poo-pooing on a Plant of the Month Club? Isn't that super fun? You get to look forward to learning and taking care of a new plant.
You're
learning about it, so you know what. Don't you want to learn about new things, or are you just going to be an old fuddy-dud?
No, I know how to take care of my plants. I don't need to have anybody tell me.
Wow, that's the worst thing you could have said to him. That's the worst. Wow, he might slap you.
When I just see a plant, I know how to take care of it. I know better than whatever internet.
But I've never seen. Do you have inside plants? Or you the outside
every time we've been over there, and back me up. Every time we've been over there, it's clear, see-through Dixie cups with little worms and clippings and little paper towels everywhere. It honestly looks like a trash farm.
Here's what I'm upset about, Andrea, is that when Daniel even came up with the idea to give you plants, that I wasn't consulted in any way.
He wasn't consulted, and he's very upset. Look at that.
For instance,
that's real, folks.
If I ever thought about something to do with organization or being on time, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of other things that you guys know about. I would, imagine if I.
So wait, your only contribution to this show is plants?
No, but
time out. Time out. You would not consult me because you always know best. You would not consult me about organization because then you would tell me how to organize.
No, that's wrong because I don't know anything about organization. But I know about plants.
I feel like I'm watching Tom and my wife fall in love live on the show.
I will go to the best organizer I know, which is Andrea.
She is a good organizer.
And for instance, I didn't know where to go to get the COVID vaccine. And I where I went to Andrea. I went to Google, I put a COVID vaccine.
You still messed that up somehow.
Then I wandered into, what's the other one?
A cheerleading competition?
The Facebook for, what is it?
Parlor?
I wandered there, then I was like, oh, wow, I don't know about this.
Careful in there.
So anyway, then you told me the information, and because I knew you would know. So I'm just, kind of insulted.
Again, these plants are so low maintenance. What do I have to ask you about? When should I water them? Or
imagine if one of Michael Jordan's friends went to I was.
Are you equating yourself with Michael Jordan?
Yes, he is.
I'm just saying.
He calls himself Plant Daddy. It's getting out of control.
If Michael Jordan's business partner's wife started getting trained in basketball by someone else,
I got the nose of Scottie Pippen.
I feel like Michael Jordan would be like, "Why did you?" This is weird that you didn't ask me.
No,
I don't think he'd care.
He should have gambled on who he would have asked.
Do you know houseplants, though?
I know
know anything about houseplants?
Of course I do.
He says he knows all plants, and he said he could have given us everything you got for free, and he says he has the pots that you have too, which are super cute.
I got some rubber plants, some fiddly figs. I've got some autograph plants that I'm propagating. All these plants.
The plants?
Yeah, he does. It kills them.
If I send you a picture of each of the plants, can you name them?
Oh, yeah.
Just by looking at them?
I can give you the street terms.
Street terms? That right there's PCP.
He did give me Angel's trumpet. So.
That's some booger sugar right there. That's some Peruvian marching powder.
I'm not going to give you the scientific name the nerds know.
Left-handed cigarette.
I'll give you the slang. I know the slang because,
a couple of white crosses.
On the Reddit pages that I'm on.
The chat room at twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. They are requesting that we do a new game show called Name That Plant. It could get out of hand fast.
I can't wait for you guys to interview the manager of this place so Tom can tell him how to run his business about plants.
I got a real question for you, Andrea. I can show up late okay, I got a vaccine appointment for Friday, but Crystal was saying don't get it because you could get feel bad for Tommy's birthday, which is the next day. So she's like, just get it on Sunday, and I was like, all right, cool. But then can I just show up to the same place, the convention center, 2 days later, and it'd still be cool?
Well, you have to be like, where am I?
Okay, so you need to contact them because they might not have enough doses because they're only having doses for the appointment.
You're fine.
So then you show up on Sunday, they might not have one for
and then you wasted your time.
So you need to let them know and see if you can do it. So, I mean, I didn't have any adverse reaction. Daniel didn't have any adverse reaction to the second one.
Just chase it with some Pedialyte. You'd be fine.
That's okay. I said that. I was like, I don't care. She had a friend of hers had a fever all day the next day, and then something like she's going on. Everybody goes off their own.
Thankfully, it was for cowbells.
Fever stop you, big baby.
Yeah. And then exactly. I was like, I have a fever, and then she's like, you're a baby. You can't handle it. And I'm like, I'll handle it. I'll show you. This is the fights me and Crystal getting, where she calls me the P word, and then I say, I'm no P word. And anyway.
And I mean, they might not be giving doses on Sunday, so I would call and
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's the Lord's Day.
Call who?
That's the
Fauci.
You gotta call.
I don't know nothing.
Fauci.
I don't know who. I looked at the call.
You got to call the wet market. Call the wet market. Can I speak to the bat, please? Give me Mr. Bat. I have an appointment on Saturday. My son's getting, we hired a magician and I got a slide. And I just don't want to have a fever when I'm going down the slide because I still got it.
Now, here is the biggest problem of all this. I asked a question, and that was about as far as the amount of research I was going to go.
So
calling.
You're done now, right?
Well, Andrea basically said...
Seminole County Department of Health, just call them, because they are running that vaccination site.
Oh, my God.
The
Seminole
County
Department of Health.
They got some extra.
I've seen the Seminole County Department of Health. It's a Buffalo Wild Wings.
They got the extra in there. I'm like, hey, I don't know.
Oh, wait, no. I apologize. It was a beef of Brady's. And they said, I just asked them. They said, you're fine. We'll see you at Beef's.
You're making it so much more complicated for yourself. Just get it on Friday and grit your teeth through it. I see you grit your teeth through a 5K with no training in flip flops.
Yeah, but you didn't have a fever.
I don't care. I will do it 100%, but I don't want to make Crystal mad. She's gonna get mad if I get it.
If you start getting a fever, run inside and powder your face so you look not red, and then come out with your full powdered face wig on.
I think I'll show up Sunday. I've deemed it.
He's deemed it okay, and then what that means is he's deemed it a story for the show because there's no way in hell he's getting a shot on Sunday.
85%. Of course, I show up there just go, come on.
Hey, get out of here. Who is you, Fauci's son? Get in here.
Get in here, drunkie. Yeah.
I bet they don't. I bet they're not open on Sunday. You drive all the way out there, they're not open.
They're open, baby. I know them. They're open. Right? Sunday.
And nobody knows the Seminole County Health Department like this guy.
The only places that are closed on Sunday are weirdly power sports stores, which is you think they'd be open on the day that people use power sports.
Four Rivers and
Chick-fil-A.
Religion.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Andrea.
Good luck and Godspeed on that.
No, what happened? Why are you apologizing? Don't ever apologize to her. If you apologize to her, then you weaken me.
Sorry,
I hung up on her.
All right.
Are you gonna take her advice, bro, or are you just gonna hit it Sunday?
Well, she told me to call, she told me to do something, and I just wanted the answer. So that's a one step to I gotta call someone.
One step
something
beyond that.
The Butler. I'll tell Butler to call. He'll forget, and then we'll just.
He always has to do his stupid voice. Hello, this is not Butler calling to find out about a second dose.
Bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha and Butler are here. Let's jump into voicemail messages. And if you'd like to leave us one, super easy to do, and there's two ways to do it. 1-844-TOM-IN-DAN. That's 1-844-TOMNDAN. Or show@tomanddan.com for emails. Also, if you get our app totally free, hit that little button that says mediocre messages. You got to hold it down. If you hold it down, talk directly into your phone, and it sends you a message, kind of like this one about Aaron Rodgers.
Tom and Dan and Sam and Trev. Hey guys, it's Kenny. Once again, Tom is wrong on stuff. I was listening to you talking about the Aaron Rodgers football thing. He can do both. They tape about 5 to 6 episodes of Jeopardy a day. So you're really only working maybe a month out of the year. And he's actually explicitly said he'd want to do it full time. That doesn't take away that he probably loves football more or the Super Bowl more. But come March or April, when they are off anyway, and according to the union, they aren't really doing stuff, he could easily fly out to L.A., be there for 1 month, be there with his Hollywood girlfriend, do all year's worth of Jeopardy, and then go back and be able to do NFL stuff. So, sorry, Tom, but you're wrong. Love you guys. Bye.
Here's why I'm right.
Yes. I love it.
Is because, and now I understand that he can, this is like he could do it, physically do it. There was enough time in his contract time off that the NFL union gives him or whatever to actually film this, right? Mm-hmm. But that means you filming a month or a whole year's worth of Jeopardy segments. That's a lot of rehearsal. And don't they have to? We talked about this. Read every question so that
I think so. Yeah.
So
did you watch any of him on there? He was
no.
He was pretty good.
I never watched Jeopardy.
Yeah, I just happened to see it. It was weird that it just happened to be on. I must have just perfect timing, and he was very good, I thought.
So to pull that off, I would imagine it would be logical to say that he would have to have a lot of practice for each episode, at least rehearsal time to go over all the questions and stuff, and that takes time, right? More than just you show up and they film for a week straight and gang tape a bunch of episodes, right? So there's practice time, and that seems like that would take a lot of time away from your main job and your career, which is being an NFL quarterback, which has gotten to the level, and I don't know any NFL quarterbacks, but from what I read and what I see, they spend all of their time, literally like any CEO would at a company or whatever, focusing on this particular job, studying their craft, putting time in research, who they're going to play, the defenses, how things are changing, because it changes all the time. You know what I'm saying? So It's a full-time job, 40 plus hours a week. I imagine more than that. I mean, I would think they put 60 hours a week into training, nutrition, exercise, and studying tape and things like that. You know what I'm saying? To be at that caliber.
I would agree with you and say it's highly unlikely. Was the argument that he could not do it? Because a lot of times that's what we get down to, right?
Well,
he could.
Yes, I guess he's arguing the semantics of it is physically possible with his time, but I'm saying that it would be
But he also
insane.
stated that he did want to do it.
He did, but what I was saying is that it seems like that statement was more of a slight towards the Green Bay organization more than an actuality. Or maybe he does actually want to do it, but
is he a
reverend? He's like a mega fan of it.
But the reality of it is, it's kind of like,
is he kind of crazy on Twitter or outspoken or anything? Does he like joke? He's a jokester, right? Doesn't
I don't know. I don't really know much.
I mean, I kind of took it like it was a joke, but I guess it maybe not. I mean, I thought it was just like he was just screwing around.
This is stupid to compare me in any way to Aaron Rodgers, but think about this. Think about if I said,
we've already done the Michael Jordan comparison.
Oh, you're right.
Well, that one I agree with. This one is a little far-fetched.
But what if I told you guys, hey, I would like to go on this other podcast on my time off, I want to spend time working on this other podcast.
Yeah.
Just for I could do it.
If you did that, I would write a letter to your boss and I would get you to take all of your shows down, and then eventually you would have to resign.
But you would think to yourself, why are you doing that? And also, I know you could do it on your off time, but it would probably bleed into your main job.
I mean, it's a decent comparison in the fact that we have very small amounts of free time. So if you did choose to do that, I would think you were insane.
I do that.
So I would. But you've been pulling back, right? Like a little bit. Using that example and trying to play that example accurately, I would be like, dude, you only get a couple weeks. You sure you want to do that?
And it means that I'm okay with the perception and probably the actuality that this other thing is taking some time away from my main job, right? So if I decided to work with another show in my off time, it would be logical to believe that I'm putting a little bit less into my main job.
But it could be his transition to eventually retire from NFL, right? So if he gets his foot in the door now.
Yeah, but he could easily, after his career, go into media if that's his, or
but he wants to do Jeopardy specifically. But then what if he misses his chance and they hire somebody else? They're not going to let him host unless it's like a guest host every once in a while.
Yeah, but I think that
I've never understood why they don't do a sports Jeopardy only. And then get a sports star to host it and put it on like an ESPN or something. Yeah. Like make it a little less. And I'm not saying this as a negative way. I like that Jeopardy is nerdy, but I always thought sports only Jeopardy would work. And then you rotate your host as the fun, like Michael Strahans and your Aaron Rodgers and your Tony Romos and these guys that can talk.
You could easily. I don't know
if it was sports only. I think its ratings would be higher than regular Jeopardy because sports guys love sports trivia.
Of course. I don't even know
There's my dumb idea of the day.
Why not do a bunch of different Jeopardies? Because who cares that it's on network TV? It was probably the network's contract.
I play the game on my phone, on my Xbox. I love it.
But you can release because.
Oh, did they do it? Like somebody saying Dan Patrick did sports Jeopardy. That's a perfect host, Dan Patrick.
Yeah.
Love Dan Patrick.
I'm just saying that it seemed unlikely to me that someone in that high of a position would ever take some time to do anything else.
They did do sports Jeopardy. Had 3 seasons. Look at that.
Look at that. My great idea failed.
Everything's been done before.
Failed.
It's like if you hear what these coaches do and their schedule and how much they put into it, it's insane.
It doesn't sound fun.
It's not even healthy. It's the ultra. They actually, I think it's a competition to see who could work the hardest.
Right.
And I think those guys take
who can gather the most knowledge and take it seriously.
And I think it's looked at a slight if you spent time with your family or took any time off. Like some of these guys are 100% football all the time. They live, breathe, work. It's insane. Like their ratio of like regular life to work is all thrown off, right?
Yeah, not good.
And
priorities are pretty bad.
But their careers are super small. So it's like I think they look at it like I'm going to spend 4 years of my life, kind of like a military, doing this.
Yeah.
And then
I think you have a special arrangement. I'm surprised you don't hear about more dysfunction within these type of families. The Andy Reid story, I'm surprised that wasn't a bigger one where his son was driving under the influence the night before the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised. Why did that just go bye-bye? You didn't hear. I mean,
money and lawyers.
Like 2 weeks ago, I think they said he was charged, right?
I don't know.
Sam, can you look that up? I forget I believe he was.
For who now?
Andy Reid's son.
With enough money and lawyers, you can sweep stuff under the rug, and then if the victims' families, like there's lots of like settlements and stuff. If they just come at you like, hey, we'll settle with you for $2 million, and sign this non-disclosure or whatever, it's like there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that they sweep under the rug.
Oh, they're in the trial now.
Yeah, he was charged with a felony DWI.
Yeah, he was charged. That's what I thought.
Or was he charged with any of the actual hurting someone else, with bodily injury towards someone? They're probably into it because a kid got hurt, right?
It just says felony DWI, so I'm assuming because someone was hurt or killed, so that's why it's the felony.
Elevates it, yeah.
Also, I did misspeak, I think, when I said that wouldn't affect Andy Reid at all because he's a football robot. It seemed... There was a lot of poor coaching decisions. It's hard to say if that was because it seems like these guys would just go straight into game mode.
I don't know. That one's pretty big, right?
Yeah.
Like that one, like your son and possibly children, like that's not good.
Yeah.
That's enough to unsettle most people. I guess he'd like to think that you're the type of grizzled, focused. But who knows? Everybody's human.
But then it's hard to quantify because think about like this job. No matter a lot of things could happen, and you can once you go into show mode, it seems like you can compartmentalize that and push everything personal out, right?
Oh, he did kill it? Was a child killed in that accident?
Oh, I didn't know they died. Oh, they died?
My God, dude.
So I'm almost surprised you didn't get charged with
vehicular homicide, or
I think it's manslaughter. If you ever
she severely, she has like a brain injury.
Oh, that is so sad.
Like
so she's like
never wake up brain injury. Oh man. So it's so stupid.
She can't walk or talk. She's on a feeding tube.
Use them taxis.
Why the hell?
Or just sit.
Why not have a driver?
Well, you're rich, man.
Yeah.
We always say that, though. I hate even saying that anymore.
I guess
you know. By now, you know.
You're just running around back and forth as and you're thinking to yourself, "Who cares? I'll make it. I've done this drive before," and then that's exactly what happens. That all the accidents happen close to your work or a house.
100%.
And it's. When automated cars get here, the world will be better,
until they become, self-aware and they lock us inside. But that could be fun too, music.
Yo, BDM Neil here. Just chiming in. My daughter caught a glimpse of the end battle of Godzilla vs. Kong. Sorry, I'm walking outside, going to get her from school right now. And I think I think Max, Tommy, Maisie, everybody, the movie's just perfect.
Godzilla Kong, you guys fired it up yet?
No.
Maisie saw the just the poster of it and asked what it was, and I want to get her to see it. I just don't think she has any interest, which saddens me because I would like to watch it.
The boys,
and Andrea does not want to.
They would want to watch it, but I think Max is. Tom is fine with that kind of stuff, but Max gets scared, and I'm like, he's 5 years old.
Yeah, I used to get scared.
So I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to show him something that is going to, I don't know. Honestly, so it doesn't. He'll be sleeping with us every night for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he won't want to go to sleep alone.
I'm with you.
Doing that anyway, right?
Well, at least he's going
later.
At
least you get a solid 20 minutes. You don't want to start that too soon.
To start it.
You don't want to start that too soon.
Maybe it's he won't be. It's like giant monsters. I don't know. It seems a little dark.
I'm definitely gonna. I just don't know when I'm gonna be able to watch it because nobody in my family, Andrea, is like you in the fact that at least you'll saddle up with your boys and watch Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah, they want to.
Andrea sounds so much like you, and it makes me angry when she's like, "I'm not watching this baby movie," or "I'm not watching one of your stupid cartoons," because I've been trying to get her to watch Invincible, which is awesome, by the way. What a good show. Crazy banana show. They're doing that show. They're doing that comic book complete justice. The voice casting is phenomenal. I haven't been this jazzed about a show in forever, and I can't even get my wife to watch episode 1. And it's arguably the best episode of TV I've seen in a long time.
You complain that you don't watch that Zoe's playlist. It's the same thing.
I have though.
Okay, you gave it a shot.
I'm kind of like Tom in a lot of ways in the fact that if my wife says, "Will you watch this?" I'll give it at least 1 or 2. Before I go, hey, I can't do this. I'm going to just go play video games, okay?
Gotcha.
But I'll give it 1 or 2. Cheers hooked me. Cheers got me. I like watching Cheers.
How many episodes of Cheers do you have?
We're second season, and we've got 12 seasons, so we're going to be a minute.
How many years did that show run? Did they start getting into because that was the 70s?
No, it's not that old. 80s.
80s. Do they start getting close to the 90s?
Yeah. 11 seasons from 1982 to 1993.
Okay, so it goes into the 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah. And you're already kind of seeing the style cues. Like some of the things that I like the most about the show are just trying to see like a glimpse of time. Like for instance, women on this particular show, because it's going to be like early 80s. We're talking 84.
Yeah. Oh, the
didn't
jokes.
wear bras.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was just a style thing.
That's come back.
If
by
you
the way.
were
I see it on TikTok,
and more so for smaller chested girls, I will say, because and Sam can attest, if you're bigger, you need to hold those things down. But they don't wear bras on that show. Remember the Coca-Cola rugby shirt?
Yes.
The red Coca-Cola shirt that everybody had? You're starting to see that sort of that like Vineyard Vines, Boston, that weird kind of prep style. You're seeing it kind of weave its way. Remember polo shirts? Like not Lacoste. I meant when that like that polo styled, particular garment was huge.
Yes,
You're seeing that, and it's weird, man. It's very, very weird. No cell phones. It's weird to see people use corded phones all the time. It's very odd. There's no texting. There's no reference to texting. There's no reference to computers. There's no go look it up on the internet. You just have to take what this guy at the bar tells you.
It's a different time.
It is kind of odd, but I will say that it is more relaxing than most normal TV because you're able to almost place yourself in that time.
Yeah. I've heard, too, that's causing a lot of problems in the world right now where we're having people that grew up with the internet and people who didn't grow up with the internet, and their mentality are just inherently different because you were raised with one thing, and then some half the or less than half the population always knew the internet, and as an adult now they've always grown up with the internet.
And if you're ignorant to it, you might villainize it, right? Because you don't fully understand it.
Yeah. Or you just grew up at a time that you were wired differently because you spent decades and you were molded in a time where there was no internet to look at and to look up answers and to have that information available. So there's a discrepancy of mindset that we don't. And then after a certain amount of time, everybody will just be the same. We all grew up with the internet, right? So you know what I'm saying? Everybody was the internet. The internet's always existed in my life, and then a lot more people will be closer. I mean, no one will ever be like-minded. Yeah, everybody will be different, but at least that one thing, we're the internet has always existed.
There would be that weirdo techno gap.
Yeah. Because if you're right, look at this, in the 80s, if you were an adult in the 80s or in your 20s or whatever, you just lived a different life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you're in your 60s or whatever it is, and then you just can't ever relate to someone who's always had the internet. How are you going to do that? You literally grew up your entire life different.
I mean, this is one of the main times when I wish my father was still alive. Not that I don't wish that every day, but if you guys could laugh at how he was about the internet, he had a very odd relationship with it where he was just finally understanding the power of being able to search anything you want and have it just pop up. He had no need for it. You know what I mean? Literally, he had no need for it. He had his job. He was a very successful salesperson.
Well, because he grew up without it. So why would he need it now?
He didn't need
there
it.
was no reason.
And I remember going and showing him, and this isn't recent. Even when I showed him, it wasn't like he was going to go to the internet every day. But once I showed him on Google that you could type in Harley Davidson and get just a myriad of images of just whatever choppers you want to look at, prototypes, you want to see what people have done, you want to go on Cycle Trader and look at motorcycles. His mind was blown, but I will say that his immediate response was, this is too much. His natural response was, I don't need this. This is way more than I could ever need, and this is not...
Of course, they're overwhelming.
Yeah, naturally he was just no, I don't need this.
Yeah, because if you then you could say, no, if you want to learn how to fix your Harley, you go on YouTube, you search how to replace your pipes, and there's step by step, and he's and then he's well, my buddy Frank, he's a mechanic, I call him when I need the pipe. You know what I'm saying? That's how we learned. So trying to interrupt that, especially when you're older too, and you got your routine like we talked about,
you do.
It screws you up. So then there's an inherent difference between pre and post internet.
And they're just things that I know he would rather be spending his time doing. And I'm falling into those same traps. I know that I will enjoy being outside more than surfing things on the internet, and that's how my dad was. And I am going that direction, even though I do care. I like the internet. I love the internet. It's great. I love playing video games online. I love being able to communicate. Well, right now we're communicating on Twitch live. That's amazing. But I can feel myself going the way of my dad, the Wells Lamont gloves, and just going outside, not even having anything to do, just putting all denim on and just wandering in the wilderness looking for things to do.
It makes sense to me that in the future, the society will be pushing that you have to have a disconnect time per week and for your mental health. And then everybody will know that, and like people will be like, hey, you've been on your phone too much or social media too much. Have you been following your disconnect time? You know what I'm saying? And then people that abuse it will be like an alcoholic.
How to hack it,
Yeah, like there'll be people that are hiding in the corner looking at their phones, and and your friends and family will be like, oh, we gotta have an intervention.
Do you think we'll get to a point where people, and we may already have this, where people's phones will be, or the iteration of the phone, it could be a brain chip, but they'll turn it off because they'll be like, sorry, man, you've done too much. You can't be trusted with it. You abuse it.
That's hard.
You used your minutes. You've been turned off.
That's hard. Especially Americans do not like to be told what to do. No. So we do not like to be told how, you take our sodas away, whatever it is, like we want it, and we want as much, like it's my right to kill myself, which I believe you can do whatever you want. I like that. I don't want the government telling me anything, but I think doctors and society will probably frown upon how many minutes you on your phone. And if you there may be like government mandated, like a warning. Your device will tell you like you've exceeded your mental health amount of minutes that we found.
Sounds like a science fiction novel.
If you want to move forward, just cancel this. Or what I'm saying? And people, of course, that may happen and slowly regulate.
Like a warning of some sort, like a cigarette pack.
I may be, that seems logical, right?
It does.
Like,
It does, because I can't see it's not healthy, man. You can just feel it.
But we're saying that, and who knows? Anyway, all right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler is he coming inside? Is somebody at our door? Oh, no, somebody's at our door.
Oh,
big reveal. This is it. And cue the surprise.
Oh, no.
What the hell?
It's nothing. You'll see.
So Mo is here. How you doing, Mo?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Good. I saw you at our event. And
maybe we should tell people where Mo's from. He's not just popping by.
Oh, I feel like everybody knows now.
Everybody knows?
Yeah. Everybody knows. JustCallMo.com.
There you go.
The DeWitt Law Firm. In fact, I've been getting a lot of emails from BDMs because we were doing this thing where we'll send everybody a prize if anybody uses our sponsors, and I've been getting a lot of Mo emails. Like I called Mo.
I did get a sad one, and I'm not passing judgment, but I will say that he sent me a screenshot to prove that he had gone and met with either you or someone at your firm, and it was a screenshot of his actual bank account, and it had a charge for DeWitt Law Firm. Had it all, and then it had at the top it had a Papa John's, and then underneath, right after you was Papa John's again. It was you were sandwiched between a double Papa John's, and I went because
the lawyer and the stress eating. They go hand in hand.
That's exactly what I thought, because truthfully, and this guy's a cool guy, and thank you for sending that, but it was like, and I made the joke, it was like pizza, divorce, pizza, right? I mean, that's kind of how it goes. And it could be a lot worse if you don't talk to Mo.
So Mo, before we got a bunch of listener emails and questions for you, but before we go into that, I got a question for you, a legal question. Now I sent you an email, but I think I was either I didn't send it or I sent it to someone else. I came up with this in the middle, like probably 11:30, and I was, at that
nice
time,
and medicated.
At that time, I got a medical card because I got these back problems. I can't sleep. But I have felt pain.
Can I be arrested for leaving the planet without my passport?
So I saw this story, and the story made me want to gamble. And then I was like, how can I gamble a insane amount of money on this? Because I think I know what's going to happen. And then I started thinking, because my wife looks at, she looks at all the accounts. And so then
I've been telling you need a secret account.
So then I was like, well, my wife's car got dented up by hail in that hailstorm. Mm-hmm. And I know if I could take it over to All Pro, and then they can get, I can do an insurance claim on my wife's car, right?
All right, yeah.
And then I can take the insurance.
I'm always down for an insurance claim. You know that.
I'm from Miami.
I should have T-shirts that say that, because I'm
Tom Insurance Claim fan. So Anyway, I was like, I'm going to get this insurance claim from my wife's car.
So romantic.
And then I'll take...
Most people get flowers for Mother's Day.
And then when I get that check, I'll take that all and gamble it on this thing that I want to. And then if I win, I get half the money, and then I'll use the other half at All Pro to fix the car.
A true gentleman. Chivalry is not dead.
But if I don't win, it's all gone, and then she has to ride around
with a lumpy car. It looks like a French burnt peanut. That's great.
So
awesome. Her dream car, she keeps saying.
Not to put you on the spot, Mo, because I don't know if you know about insurance fraud or how that works, but can I take an insurance claim from my wife's hail damage and then do whatever I want with it, or do I have to legally fix that car?
Well, I think the big question here is more along the lines of us, like what we're doing now, right? I mean, if you were going to do this, you probably wouldn't want to be screaming it.
That was another part of it.
Into the microphone.
Yeah, like talking about it, because I know that there's a lot of things that people do.
Sure.
Like for instance, all my friends in Miami and everybody I grew up with never spent the insurance money on actually fixing anything that broke. They always took the money and then bought jet skis or whatever.
Sure. Well, that's normally where you go.
Paid off their, whatever it is, their debt. So that's a given. But I was wondering if you talked about it openly, like I am making an insurance claim for this. I'm taking that money
and using it for X
and gambling with it or whatever.
I really hope Crystal handles all the finances in your household.
Well, she does. That's why I have to do it this way, Mo, because I can't take $1,000 out of anywhere else without her being, what the hell are you doing with the $1,000?
I can give you $1,000.
Oh, the loan-wise?
Yeah, well, no, I mean...
Loan from the company, double it up.
I was told by a guy one time that I really trust that you should never take loans out for gambling, because it always...
That sounds about right.
And
my wife is calling me.
Yeah.
Is she in the chat room?
Oh.
I'm not giving him money.
I
am not giving him money.
To answer your question, though.
Yes.
No, you don't have to use it to fix the car. So, as long as you're not doing anything that's deceptive as far as what the damage is. But let's say you're in a car accident, someone rear ends you, it's $3,000 in damage, they cut you a check, and you say, hey, I'm fine driving around with a busted up bumper. You have no obligation to go fix that car. They've paid you for the damage that's occurred. You can do whatever you want with that money at that point in time.
Okay.
We're rich. Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well,
can I do that for anything? Like in medical bills? I want all the insurance money. I'll fix nothing. I'll have all the jet skis.
Well, medical bills might be a little different.
Well, I just thought maybe if you pre-planned it, then that was somehow fraud. Like you claimed, you're like, hey, my car's dented up by this hailstorm, and then
you park your car in the hail capital, and you wait,
and then I get Corey from All Pro to submit the claim, and like it's gonna cost X amount of money to fix this, and then they're like, well, here's the money, and then I'm like, thank you, and I gamble it. But then they're like, we know you were planning this. You talked about it with Mo.
It doesn't matter. That's not their job. Their job is just to assess it and cut you a check.
The only thing that, since it's actual damage, the way it would be nefarious would be like, say I go to a pull and pay, I get a hood that looks just like my car. I have Corey emulate what looks like hail damage to take photos.
Oh, that's fraud.
Yeah. And that's what you can't do. But that's where my mind went.
Or if you have to make a fake estimate or overstate the estimate, that's where the fraud would be.
You got to do this with everything because you guys don't care about the way your cars look.
Yeah. I can know about the fraud. Again, Miami. The fraud is there's some sort of storm somewhere, and then
it's coming,
and then you get your buddy up there with a ball peen hammer, hammering the roof.
I'll do too many; it'll look weird.
And then the code is hurry.
Yeah.
And then he knows that's when to stop.
That's how you know.
And then he screams it back at you. Then insurance claim.
It's a 4AA scenario.
Anyway, all right. So I can do that. Well, next up, I'll have to tell you about the bet, but that'll come later because I got some people to consult about. But I think it's going to be my biggest bet ever. I just don't know.
What you're going to bet on?
No, I know that. I just don't know what the odds are yet because they haven't been released.
Okay.
And I'm sure this will end well.
Just to give you a heads up, it's about this Logan Paul Mayweather fight.
I saw that.
That was announced because it stinks like the 90s all over again. Like this is they're doing it's digital 90s now, and they're doing it, and now they're doing it at the highest level. And I mean,
they're getting it while they can because it will end.
Yeah. Well, it's what every media does at the start. It's what they did in radio. It's like boxing matches, right? It's like everyone's against a producer or whatever's boxing. You get Baba Booey, he's boxing, whatever.
Wait till
they get to for 30 years.
Wait till they get to glass coffin of roaches or rats. We'll get there. Mouse traps.
Yeah. This is Baba Booey fighting. This is the same difference. It's just now the lines are blurred where you don't know how real this is.
I thought you said Bob Abooey.
Anyway,
my name is Robert Abooey.
So Samantha, I know we have some questions from some BDM. So let's start off.
Are they only legal?
Yes.
I've
weeded out some of the other ones.
Good. Yeah, because sometimes they ask weird things.
Yeah. So here's the scenario. You're involved in a car accident, and when your insurance concludes their investigation, they're seeking to reclaim the cost of damages from the other driver. In the meantime, you receive a questionnaire from the other driver's personal injury attorney asking for more information about your insurance and notes about the accident. Is this something you're required to complete, or is this something that should be all handled through the insurance?
I would handle it through the insurance. So if the other driver has an injury attorney, most likely they think that you're at fault.
Right.
So they're trying to determine whether, A, you have any other insurance to pay the claim, or if you have any assets. So you want to talk to your insurance company before you fill that out, and may even want to talk to an independent attorney whether you should fill that out or not.
I got an idea. Tom and Dan neck braces.
I love this idea.
It just came to me. Genius.
I love it.
And it's all branded, and then it's you can wear your Tom and Dan neck braces.
You
and then give a thumbs up.
And let's give them to all of our clients too. Everyone. Give them to Bart Merrick. Streamline everyone. Just neck braces for everybody.
You have to put it on all of his clients you buy out. Every time you buy a car,
exactly.
You just carry it around in your trunk.
Hard to back up.
I feel like it's like neck braces got a bad name.
I don't see people wear those anymore. The new
one.
The new one is that gray one that pushes your head up like a dog.
Collar,
I'm not wearing that. I'm not wearing that.
I like the tan, like regular.
Yeah. No, the white, the bright one.
Yeah, but it looked like it could go around your. My dad used to ski with a white belt like that around him because he thought life vests were
didn't believe in it
for those guys.
Yeah.
But
he's like life vests.
Yeah,
that's a lake.
My boss put all that, so he'd put on a life belt. Do you remember these?
Yes, yeah. Didn't do anything. It helped you drown.
Did nothing. Yeah, it would just flip you over and kill you.
Put your feet up.
Feet up for safety.
Yeah, if you fall down, your feet will go up.
I think the only reason my dad wore the white ski belt was because there was a pocket for his cigarettes in it.
It's the equivalent of
he smoked while he skied. That's true.
It's the mesh mask of life preservers. All right, next
question. Okay, I almost got into a wreck yesterday. The car in front of me was distracted driving, I assume, and slammed on their brakes and went into the median.
Oh, God.
Being that I couldn't see in front of her and she moved out of the way, leaving me going full speed towards stopped traffic, would I have been at fault had I rear-ended the stopped car? I do have a dash cam which could show the scenario, so I would be able to prove I was following prove the car I was following moved to reveal stopped traffic. Luckily, no incident happened. Besides my middle finger almost being dislocated from full extension, I've never given the finger harder in my life.
Look, you're driving that car. Am I supposed to weigh in before this?
I like this.
I'll take it from here, bro.
Take it from here, Dan.
Daniel,
you got it.
You look exhausted.
I'm going to go smoke outside. Call me when you need me.
I'll handle this one. Yeah, take the ski belt. It's got the cigarettes in it. You can go out and smoke. I feel like just because, I'm laughing at this email because he's like, the other car moved to reveal stopped cars. Yeah, because that's driving, dum-dum. And when other cars move and reveal stopped cars, you stop. You don't drive into them, which is what you did. You're at fault. That's a stupid email.
You shouldn't be driving in a manner they're like, well, I'm fine unless the car in front of me moves out of the way.
Yeah. It's not a magic trick. It's not a magic trick. It's like, poof, stop cars. Oh, there we are. No, it doesn't work like that.
I'm driving so close to them that I can't see what's in front of them, and I have no time to stop.
That happened to me. When the only time I ever got rear-ended, that happened to me.
Yeah.
And then he reveals that he's road raging people. I was like, this is a poor email.
Well, all cars usually, no matter what, because we're all in a hurry, don't do the normal car lengths for every 10 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? So we're all following too close. So
all too fast.
So all it takes is for that car in front of you to be like, whoa, and swerve out, and then you're like, oh my God. If you're not right on top of it, you're going to plow
I've had a couple of those, and they always happen when you're like getting a drink, lighting your cigarette, you do the move where you're like, you slam on your brakes, and then you do that move where you have to edge to the right or left and just kind of eke up on the people, and you're like, we good. And then you're like, we're all right.
Well, you know what's happened to me multiple times? I'm not paying attention, and all of a sudden I look up, and there's debris in the road, like a giant chunk of semi-tire or something that fell off a car, and then I swerve out of the way, but the car behind me, it just rams because they have no time, right? Like I swerved last second, and it just annihilates the car behind me.
And what do? You just quiet?
Oh, I just keep driving. But I think I was like, I had a little part in that. Like, that was my fault, because if I would have moved way earlier, the car behind me would have
even the driver of Gravedigger, as the tire launches into the crowd, feels a little responsible. He's like,
technically it's like the manufacturer, the mechanic, but you're a part.
You're a part of it.
Anyway, so what's the right answer?
So if you rear end someone in Florida, there's a presumption that you're at fault. The only exception would be if someone cut in front of you right at the last minute or something. So if you hit the person, you would be at fault. Doesn't matter if they swerve out of the way.
Okay.
How much?
Keep a safe distance.
So all these people that are getting dash cams now, because I'm guessing it's so cheap to have, and you're paranoid or whatever.
Well, you're only Russian if you have a dash cam, is how I feel about it.
How many times, Mo, have you used dash cams now, and has it actually benefited people to own a dash cam? Because it seems like it's a unnecessary step that you rarely use unless in like a weird anomaly, right? Like
I see a lot of my motorcycle buddies have it.
Yeah.
Because it's so dangerous out there. I mean, I'm on my scooter today.
Yeah.
I mean, this morning I was trying to enjoy the sunshine a little bit. I'm seriously gonna have to stop my hypocritical helmet talk that I've done about like not wearing one, then wearing one, then yelling at you for wearing one, then not wearing one myself. Irrational, just stupid. Yeah, helmets for everybody, but it's crazy out there.
So,
but I love the dash cams for accident cases. I mean, we had a case a lot of times people just lie. So like we had a case one time where the guy who got hit didn't have a dash cam, but someone who was kind of behind them who saw the whole thing had one, and he was nice enough to stop, get the guy's information. He emailed him the video. And so what happened was the guy's car was kind of parked on the side of the road. A semi-truck was taking a turn and just like ran over the guy's car.
Oh, no.
And the semi-truck driver was, of course, like, well, that wasn't my fault. You drove into me as you were coming back off the median. And so there, the dash cam's very, very useful. The other thing is a lot of Teslas have like 360 dash cams on them. So you can actually see like the whole accident happen and how it happens. We've used that in some videos we've developed with Facebook.
That's kind of spooky.
And I'm sure more and more cars will have these, and it will actually probably help our society's insurance and things, because now we have proof of what happened, and he keeps fraud down, and all, like he said, she said story. Like there'll be like, all right, who caused this accident? Here's video evidence.
I'm only anti it in my own life because I don't need another device, but I do think it's a really good idea. Like if it were standard on my vehicle, totally okay with it.
If you didn't have to do anything, if you just started your car, it started up and recorded everything, it'd be great.
I can't charge. I can't put one more suction cup in my car. No more.
Yeah.
Too much.
Mo, like speaking of getting an accident, and you see this all the time, where like someone will get rear-ended and like I-4 or like 436 or some busy road, and then they just get out, and then they're like talking on the phone, looking up. It's just literally in the middle of the lanes.
Most people just stay in the lane. I've had that happen right here.
And because they're paranoid, I guess, about like moving, and then the police not seeing who caused the accident or the other person lying or whatever. But then they block up traffic, and I believe they tell you not to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my case. It was a friend of mine's, but they got in an accident. The person got out of the car and went into the median. It was standing there in their car trying to avoid the accident, swerved to the median, and hit and killed the person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're supposed to kind of get out of the way of traffic, clear traffic, but certainly don't stand in the lane, stand where you're exposed to traffic, because the last thing you want to do is get hit by a car while you're just standing there.
Maybe I'm a cautious Carl, but normally when I get into an accident, I instantly freeze, and I try to maintain the same position that I wrecked in.
Then you put your Tom and Dan neck brace on.
Yeah, I just try to say, if I have it. If I have it normally, and because this show is so wildly popular, I'm just handing these things out like Tic Tacs.
And
why do you come in here, Mo?
I have no idea.
I'm sorry.
And it's not going to hurt your case because you could probably just get out of your car if you needed to and film what happened or take pictures, then get back in and then go to the side, right?
Yeah, I mean, just make sure whatever you do, just make sure you're clear of traffic. It's kind of safe to get out of the vehicle. Everybody's stopped. Don't just fling your door open and jump out. Without looking, because that's how people
That's
get
what
killed.
you would do.
Yeah,
you're a flinger.
Well, me and Crystal one time.
Don't tell this one.
New Year's Eve night.
Is this the Halloween one? You can't
No,
tell the
that
Halloween
was a
one.
different
That
one,
one
no.
you can't tell. The alligator one you can't tell. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot.
No, but you're supposed to tell your lawyer. So anyway, we.
I don't think you have that in writing.
I mean,
and
you
he's
don't
never,
say it on air.
And I
on the
also, I don't think he ever agreed to that. Like, he's like, I'm your lawyer. I found out about it right now. All
That's what
me.
I'm saying.
So not to put you on the spot.
And we came across a car spinning around on I-4 on its the hood of the car, right? And then we pulled up. There's cars like smoking and stuff. Literally an accident just happened. The car was still spinning, and me and Crystal jumped out. We're just stupid as hell to see if we could help. By that time, other people were out of the car. But we looked over, and there was like headlights of 1,000 drunk people driving down.
It was like a horde.
This is
You're
like
gonna run.
Fine.
2:30 on New Year's Eve. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta pull that person out of that car rapid fire.
And I screamed at Crystal, "Get in the car, we're gonna die!" Because these cars are gonna start ramming us. And luckily that didn't happen. We just got in and drove away because at that point, being on the road
was dead in the car.
They're
you
fine.
Just continued on your journey.
It's just getting out of your car is. I see people still changing their tire on the side of the road, literally with their back to the right lane.
In the lane.
Cars going at 75 miles an hour that maybe a foot or two away from their back. Like every time a car passes, it nearly blows their tail or not off. And I'm like, oh my God. Why are you doing this?
Also, not to point it out, but we can help that a little bit too. Everybody doesn't you see this guy who's obviously doing it incorrectly. You don't need to one-up him by staying in your lane and think to yourself, well, obviously this guy's doing it wrong, so I don't care. I'm going to do what I do. No, just move over a lane.
Yeah,
you see this all the time with police
we have
officers.
to. Right. Against the law,
you will get pulled over. Just get in the habit of it and be nice. Be cool, bro.
Yeah. But also, don't change your tire with your back towards traffic 1 foot away off the. It's crazy.
Man, I had a buddy of mine that stopped on. I think he had stopped his motorcycle to check something or another, and then he. Was getting back on, and when he got back on, a truck didn't see him, and then just a bigger semi, an 18-wheeler, and then just pushed him and his motorcycle. Imagine being on your motorcycle between the 18-wheeler's trailer and a guardrail, and it just pushed him into the rail. And there was nothing, you have to ride it.
Oh my God!
And he almost died, but he's okay now. But not good. Be careful out there.
Do we have time for one? I think we have to go.
No, we gotta go.
Sorry.
We wasted most time. We only got to 2 listener questions.
We have more for next time, and what's most important.
I like that optimism.
Yeah,
you know what? It just means that next time we eat a little too much.
And the most important thing we solved today is knowing that you can gamble away your insurance claim.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
All these other dumb listener questions.
I know for a fact that our main audience tuned out after that. I'm just certain that they were like, click. Weekend starts now.
Because if I thought of it, hundreds of our audience have thought of it too.
Yeah, it's the scumbag hive.
So just call Mo.com. Call him at any time. Someone will pick up, and then if you need to talk to Mo, he'll talk to you.
Yeah.
He
won't talk to us.
No,
he might talk to you since now he's your attorney. I'm sure he's
but
happy about
legally,
that. Wow.
I think of that.
Look how happy he is.
Well, thanks, Mo. We appreciate it, and thanks for sponsoring our Land Cruise.
Yeah,
it was
man.
awesome.
It was blessed.
It was a really good time.
Everybody had a good time. I wonder what they did with the extra Mo cups. I wanted to tell Dr. Phillips that I wanted
Mine
those.
got stolen by my daughter. Those came out good, dude.
Yeah, I love those little cups.
They came out great.
Well, we probably burned through them all because I'm like,
drink. I saw one guy who, because they were good cups, was drinking his drinks and then just.
Doing
the old. I'm just gonna
shake it out.
And no, he's just piling them up.
Oh yeah.
He's just
to keep them.
And then he had his whole little bag was just like, got my whole glassware for years.
Why not?
Yeah.
All right, Mo. We appreciate it, and this is the last segment. Bye bye.